What's the last year been like for you?
It's kind of been a whirlwind. The beautiful thing about my music is that's kind of how I make sense of my world. Like, it's almost like journal entries. So for the past year, everything's been really, really fast. But at the same time, it's been natural progression. So we are having fun.
So what's been the highlight?
Oh man, I'd probably say today in Boston, we are receiving our tour bus.
Oh,
and
yeah?
that's kind of like the ultimate prize. So we're extremely excited about that.
Cool.
Not to mention I get to go Power Wheel shopping.
Awesome. What's next? You want a jet?
I don't know. I think I'm going to stay on the ground, to be honest with you.
Don't like to
Flying,
fly.
It's not that I hate it and I'm not scared of it. It's just
Yeah.
that I don't love it.
Yeah.
I much prefer to take a tour bus.
I'm right there with you. I hate flying. I
Yeah.
don't like it. So what about low lights?
The lowlights, see, it's funny, we have a running joke kind of with rap life. So if something awful happens and you get taken in a back room and a gun put to your head, you're just like, man, the rap life. But then when you receive a tour bus with 2 flat screen TVs and Xbox and Wii, and you're like, yeah, the rap life, you know. So it's kind of both sides of the coin. But you know, the lowlights, you know, you have to hang out in a van with a bunch of smelly people for a really long time until you earn your stripes.
But you don't smell today.
No, that's just because you're not close enough.
No, it's fine. Cool. So who's the coolest person you've met so far in the business?
There's a lot of cool people mixed in with a lot of scummy people. But the coolest person that I met, as far as just my encounter, was Andre 3000.
Awesome.
Who was just like, he is the definition of an individual, and in a good way. You know, in a good way in the sense of it's very good to kind of have an independent mind and not just follow it. And Andre was like, look, you got to be your fingerprint. That's who you are. Be yourself, because everybody else is taken.
And don't let the industry change you.
No, not
Be
at all.
yourself.
I think that's really important, and that's kind of a testament to why this project is successful. Because I just kind of am who I am, and people are relating to that. Because we've kind of had a weird point where everybody was just kind of doing the same thing.
Yeah.
They saw nobody was making music anymore; they were just making money.
Right.
And now it's getting back to the point where like, hey, rap and hip hop and everything isn't what's selling right now. So people have to get back to just making what feels good.
Yep.
Yeah, my moments.
Okay, so Asleep in the Bread Aisle.
You know it.
What's that about?
Well, Asleep in the Bread Aisle, it's kind of got two little, one literal and one kind of unconscious meaning. I'm gonna let him tell the story.
Hey, well, look who's here. It's Mr. Toothface. Have a seat, Mr. Toothface.
How are you, companion? That's good. Me too. How are things?
Thanks for joining. He doesn't speak, obviously, but he
No,
does
I understand
sign language with his
I
hands
understand everything
and
that
his
you
legs.
say. That's awesome.
He speaks to you with his body. All right.
So, any children on the way?
You know, we were talking about that earlier. There might be a baby Toothy on the way, but
That's
we'll
what's
see.
up. That's what's up.
We'll see.
It's about that time, you know. You get to a point in your life where you just want some children, you know. Yeah. I'm not there yet.
I'm there.
See,
So,
this is
honey,
this
you
is
know where you are.
Toothface. This is his room. This
Oh.
is where he hangs out.
So
So,
I'm in your lair right
kind
now.
of, yes, it is. It's Toothface Lair.
It is.
I'm absolutely going to respect it, but I'm taking that Snickers with me. I'll tell you.
Hey, no fighting.
No,
Not yet. Take it outside.
He's territorial. He's
All
territorial.
right. So yeah, what's any hidden meaning here, or?
Well, the thing about Sleep in the Bread Aisle is, yes, there's a literal story behind it about one of my buddies getting extremely drunk and waking up the next day and falling asleep in the bread aisle when he was trying to kind of get rid of the hangover with a sandwich and some Gatorade.
Yeah.
But on kind of the metaphorical sense of things, you know, everyone tries to tell you what to do. Cut your hair, shave your face, wear this, write a song about this, and Asleep in the Bread Aisle is really about, you know, not conforming to society and just doing what feels best and doing what you do, and that's where I'm at. Is forget conforming to industry demands. Just do what really feels natural.
Did they try to change anything about you?
No, I mean, everybody had an opinion about me, and it really got to a point where I was like, I need to be paying attention about what I want. What am I here for?
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Instead
it
of
wasn't
listening.
like a big struggle, right?
No, because it got to a point where I was like, I wasn't going to do it if they were going to try to force me into doing something. So, you know, that comes from being the little brother. You know, the little brother of the little boy of the 2 older sisters. I've always kind of had that, being stern and about getting what I want.
So what are you listening to right now?
Shoot, I'm actually, see, the thing is, I'm listening to kind of some new stuff that I haven't really ventured into. My man put me on to some Massive Attack, some trip hop stuff. But I'm also always listening to some Dilla, always listening to the Roots, Pharoah Monch, Most Def. That whole kind of hip hop with substance and content.
Yeah.
The Most Def album, The Ecstatic.
Yeah,
I've been
it's
bumping
good.
that. Really good. I really enjoy that stuff. But also at the same time, just listening to stuff like Taylor Swift and.
Oh,
Kelly
really?
Clarkson.
I was going to say, what on the other end of the spectrum?
Nah,
What other music do you like?
my
People
boy
get
got
surprised about?
me into Taylor Swift a little
Really?
bit. I mean, I'm not a big fan of country, but I'm learning that country is brutally honest music, so
Yeah.
you have to appreciate it.
What about jazz? You like some jazz?
Love jazz. I'm a big jazz fan.
Metal?
See,
Sorry,
I don't.
Toothy.
I'm not big on the screaming stuff. I'm kind of cool, calm, collect, But I can
All
dig it, you know what I mean? I'm wild out.
All right. So, what did you listen to growing up? Like, what when you were a little kid?
Well, when I was young, obviously it's kind of dictated to what's in the household. So we had Bruce Springsteen and Dire Straits on my dad's side, and my mom had like the Temptations and that Motown stuff. My sisters were listening to Tevin Campbell and NSYNC and whatever the pop stuff was. And then obviously the middle child was a little bit more rebellious. And she was listening to kind of the alternative punk rock, Toadies, No Doubt, stuff like that. And then when I started to kind of pick my own music, the first CD I bought was Dave Matthews Band, and then I got away from that. Then it was Oasis, and then it was Korn and Rage Against the Machine, and then we ended up in hip hop. And I found a real comfort level in hip hop just as far as the self-expression and the enlightenment, the uplifting. But also from listening to Dave Matthews Band and Oasis, I learned how to write a song. So
Awesome.
being all over the spectrum is important to me. I like being open-minded about my music.
So, what was it like to rap on the spot for Jay-Z? And then, two-part question, was Beyonce in the background when you were doing that?
Beyonce wasn't there. Beyonce wasn't there, unfortunately. That would have been awesome.
I know, I was going to say.
But the thing is, with that, it's such like a crash course. That was like one of the first things that happened. So after that, it's just like, all right, I'm good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
After you kind of rap for Jay-Z and you're extremely young and naive, and I had no idea how the business works. And that's like the kingpin. You hit the boss before you even get any warm-up levels, and it's just like, man. So all right. It was an interesting experience. I just kind of went in there, rapped, paid a little homage, and peaced out. And he shook his head. He was digging what was going on, but that was that kind of anticlimactic.
Yeah. All right. So Larry Bird. We take him really seriously.
Larry the Legend.
You know that.
Larry the Legend.
So, are you really a fan, or you just like the way the jersey?
I'm a big fan of Larry Bird. I really am. As far as the Celtics go, I have a tough time with their team right now.
Okay.
I'm not.
Why?
Because they're purchasing players that are past their prime.
Okay.
And trying to buy a championship. And I like those homegrown teams.
Did you hear that, folks?
You guys just picked up. You guys just picked up Rasheed.
You upset Toothy.
You just picked up Rasheed Wallace. Like, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to do here? You're trying to buy a championship. Doesn't Boston look at the Red Sox? Homegrown. New England Patriots. You know what I mean? You have these franchises that are very, have a nice, deep-rooted system involved, and then now the Celtics are just like, oh, we need to restore our legacy, so let's start picking these old all-stars.
You kind of look like him.
Larry the Legend?
Yeah.
That's why I wear the jersey.
Love child, possibly?
I'm not.
Okay.
No.
All right. Favorite type of girl?
Cool.
All right. And this one's for the ladies, of course. Are you single?
I'm single.
All right. And what do you look for in a lady?
Chilling. Somebody who's just cool and is not going to nag me and ask me what I'm doing all the time.
So speaking of dating, are you dating Stephanie Pratt?
No, I'm not.
All right. Okay. For me today.
Freestyling for you today, is that like a yes or no question?
No, but would you like to freestyle for me today?
It's up to you guys. It's about you.
Yes.
I don't know if I want to do that.
Why?
That could put me in, uncomfortable positions.
I don't want to make you uncomfortable.
I don't want to make you uncomfortable.
Oh, I won't be uncomfortable. Let's do it. So I'll
I-
tell you a little bit about myself.
Okay, all right.
My name's Sophie.
Okay,
I love to cook. I want to be the next Food Network star or
Okay.
have my own talk show.
okay.
My favorite bands, Guns N' Roses, Hanoi Rocks. I love Lady Gaga right now, so I'm
Jeez.
kind of across the board.
Okay.
But I love hip hop too.
I don't know if I took all of that. Sophie, surely not a trophy wife. She's in the kitchen cooking up all night. She's got a network show of her own. You can come to my home and show me how we can do it, Sophie. Even if you're 43, you're still my type because you're chillin', see. I like the smile. How we doing? This be a freestyle. Are we good? Thumbs up for my man Smiley. So please, peace, let's go cook up some beans and rice because I like tacos. That's my favorite meal. You were asking what my favorite is, and that's the deal. So peace. Oh.